davet etmek istiyorum. Kendisi Hepsiburada'nın Chief Technical Officer'ı. Çok değerli, biraz geçmişinden bahsetmek istiyorum. Aslında kendisi mühendis ve mühendisliği sadece yeterli bulmayıp North Carolina State Üniversitesi'nde endüstri mühendisliği üzerine master yapmış. Ve yine bununla da yetinmeyip işin bir de business kısmını öğrenmek istiyorum deyip London Business School Economics'te genel yönetimle ilgili de bir eğitim almış. Hem Chief Information Officer olarak hem Chief Technical Officer olarak birçok firmada üst düzey görevlerde bulunmuş ve aslında şu anda Türkiye'de bizimle Hepsiburada da çalışıyor ve Türkiye'yi gözlüyor aslında. Türkiye'nin e-ticarette içinde bulunduğu durumu yurt dışı deneyimiyle beraber bir gözlem altına almış. Bugün bizimle çok değerli bilgiler paylaşacak. Ağırlıklı olarak aslında kullanıcı deneyimi üzerine bir uzmanlığı var. Bugün hepimizin aslında bazı firmaların yatırım yapmakta bazen tereddüt ettiği UX, UL design dediğimiz kullanıcı deneyimi tarafında e-ticaret sitelerine büyük ayrıcalık sağlayan çalışmalarda uzman. Kendisini şimdi sahneye davet edeceğim. Eminim çok değerli bir sunumla bizimle beraber olacak. I'd like to introduce to Mr. Mittu SRIDHARA.
Thank you. Hi, thank you very much. Thank you. Just a show of hands, how many of you cannot understand English at all? You probably, that means everybody because you can't put up your hand. No, anybody who does not understand English? You all understand English? Okay, so apologies, I don't speak Turkish yet, but I've got a couple of friends who are supposed to be helping me. They better get on and do the job soon, I think. All right, so thank you, first of all, for having me here. As the guy was introduced, I'm fairly new to Turkey. And in fact, we were in Silicon Valley last week, trying to attract the Turkish back to Turkey. And it was very funny. You have this Indian guy with Hanzade Hanım trying to attract the Turks back to Turkey. But I thought we should talk about. I thought that's probably a good place to start. You know, why am I here, right? Why do I leave a comfortable place and come to, I think, another beautiful place called Istanbul? Turkey, and you know, you just mentioned this briefly. I think you said 25 billion as the current e-commerce market, but NTL, yeah. But if you project forward 3 years, we're effectively an emerging economy. And you've all heard about China. China grew, I think, what was it, 400% or 600% between 2010 and 2014. 600% growth in digital commerce. Yeah? Now, for digital commerce to really take off, you need a few things to be in place. The first thing you need is broadband access, right? Good bandwidth and broadband access. Guess what? Turkey has over 60% right now because of 4G in terms of broadband access. So as a market, we already have pretty good access. Okay? The second big factor is people having access to technology. So you need a device at the end to be able to do something with that broadband thing, right? Anybody, any idea about how many smartphone users there are? In fact, you're in a mobile tech. You will have the data, right? I think it's, what is it, over 60% penetration of smartphones? Expected to go to 70%. So obviously, many of you have 2 phones, right? And that's supposed to happen in the next 24 months. So we have that as well, right? Credit card penetration, over 70%. The population, half of the population is under 34. Okay? So all of the factors, all of the big factors for digital commerce are in place. We just need a few companies, right? Now, in the retail space that we're all in terms of pure retail, e-tail, the market is expected by 2019, 2020, the Turkish marketplace is expected to be very close to 1 trillion Turkish lira, 980 billion Turkish lira, or about 400 million US dollars based on which day of the week it is in terms of exchange rates, right? But 980 billion Turkish lira is going to be the size of the market. Today, anybody? How much is being done in terms of digital commerce on online transactions? Any ideas? Outside of the panel, obviously. Anybody? Any ideas? How much, what percentage of, let's say, 700 billion is being done in pure digital commerce today in Turkey? Yeah, 1.5, in fact less. Coming to 2 hopefully, but right now about 1.5. Any idea what the UK or the US do today?
20%.
Yeah, so it's UK is 14%, 20% in bilgisayar and other categories, but in overall about 14% in the UK, and in the US it's about 12, between 8 and 12%. So we're 1.5%, okay? All the factors for digital commerce are in place. Also, another key statistic in the Turkish market is that 70% of the people live in 7 big cities. So that was also another key factor in commerce. So in my view, in my personal humble view, is all the factors are in place for digital commerce to really take off. And I think we're sitting at a tipping point as we speak. And hopefully, in 24 months, we'll be standing here and we'll be talking about, we've tipped over, right? But even if you say, hey, it's going to be 5 to 7% in Turkey in 3 to 5 years, let's say even in 4 years, let's be conservative. That means, right, over 45 billion Turkish lira, I'll say between 45 and 60 billion Turkish lira is available for people and companies who want to do something about it. Yeah? Hopefully, a lot of people in this room. Huge opportunities for businesses that have not even started yet. And so huge opportunities for companies, for entrepreneurs, and huge opportunities for all of you in this room to participate in making this real, to participate in growing yourselves, to participate in pushing yourselves out, to be part of this experience. And that's why I'm here, because I think this is where it's going to happen, right? And it's exciting to be here because you can have so much impact, not just on colleagues, on people, but also in the marketplace. And that's a great place to introduce Hepsiburada. You know, Hepsiburada, everybody knows Hepsiburada? I'm just checking. Okay, good. Nobody's putting hands up, so I don't know. Maybe you don't understand me yet. But Hepsiburada.com, why do we exist? One of the key reasons we exist, and one of the key reasons I'm here, is we have the ability to help. Think about that poor Syrian family on the eastern part of Turkey as an example, or even in people in slightly less well-to-do places. Think of the lady with the 2 kids who needs to do a bit of business in the corner shop. They can come onto our platform and they can trade. And if they can trade easily and well, think about the economic impact, the social impact that we can have as a platform in raising all of these merchants, these people to do business, in raising and enabling ultimately the children to go to school, right? That's the power of some of the platforms. That's the power of some of the businesses that you guys are also participating in to do. And that's the whole raison d'etre of Hepsiburada, is to make your life easier, right? Is to enable those merchants, is to enable you as a merchant to be more profitable, more successful, and do better. And for Hepsiburada, within all of this, is a huge opportunity. We are the market leader, right, at the moment in our space. And we will hopefully also continue to be that market leader. There's several things that we're doing and planning to do. And what I thought I'll take some time today, having introduced Hepsiburada, is to talk about kind of what does it mean to be digital, just because it's the first time I'm talking to all of you guys, in my view, and kind of why we think we're going to be successful within that space, and then leave it open to questions and answers, so we can make it a bit more interactive. Does that sound like a plan? Okay, so what does it really mean to be digital? What are the key things kind of in a digital business? In my view, there are really 5 key things. That's it, right? 5 key things. The first key thing, and the only key thing that really, really, really, really matters, is all about the customer, right? And you talked about Flipper, and it's fantastic, right? Don't you love what we do, right? Because we're going to a world from mobile, where we're here, and you, each of you, are that cursor in an interactive world. That mobile device is increasingly becoming part of you. It's getting more integrated into what you do, into your phone, into it will be wearable soon. And soon you will be the cursor, right? Think about that world. It's not that far away. You will be that cursor in this world. And everywhere you look will be data popping up, right? And think about that world and think about how much information is available. In fact, too much information, right? But thinking about everything from the customer's angle, absolutely, absolutely key. And from what I've seen from the limited experience I'm still learning, right, I've had here, is that is something that a lot of companies globally, by the way, this is not just a Turkish phenomenon, but certainly here, a lot of companies that are currently in operation are offline companies with a website. And that brings me on to the second point. So one, customer, and key, right? Customer. Everything from a customer angle. The second key thing is, and mobile, we talk about mobile, is this ability to combine the physical with the digital, right? So any good digital business really brings those two together in a seamless, interactive way. You just saw some of that today, but that's where the likes of an Uber or an Airbnb are fundamentally different. You leave. I take Uber cabs here in Turkey. I can't speak Turkish, as you guys know, but I can communicate. My driver is Turkish. He doesn't speak very much English. No problems. We have perfectly fine conversations in the morning. Guess why? Because I've got I translate, right? And we have conversations, complete conversations in the morning. And I'm not mad yet. Right? Same with Uber. I know I can talk, get in the car, I can put the address in, and the guy knows where he's going, right? I know, and I can say, hey, I can even manage to say, hey, 2 stops, because I can say I'm going to go drop my friend off first, and then I'm going to go back. And I can do all of that because technology makes it possible. It makes it convenient, makes it easy from a customer experience, from a user experience standpoint, but that ability to link the physical with the digital is key. And what does that mean? It's obviously mobility, it's interactive interaction and UI and UX within that, but it's also how you think about your company, about your business process. Your ability to simplify your business process is key. So why do mobile apps, lots of people put mobile apps out, but they fail. Why? It's because you haven't digitized the business process beneath it that brings that link of the physical and the digital. But it all starts from thinking like as a customer. But you've really got to go back into your organizations, especially for those of you who come from terrestrial, land-based businesses, about what are those business processes, how do I collapse them into seamless, simplified business processes that are all customer outside-in processes that facilitate that business process, right? The next thing you've got to relate, so customer, the seamless linking of the physical and the digital, 2. 3, when you think about all of this, you have to start to think about your product. So if you're an insurance company, hey, you still a lot of companies, today pushing out the product that they had. It says, you can have an annual insurance policy. It's going to be X. And by the way, for a car, it's Y. But if it's my friend Denise, you'd say, hey, look, you can have a policy that's based on your specific driving pattern because all that data is available. And you can buy an insurance for the day, for the drive, for the month. And because of mobility and because digital makes all of this possible due to data, you can start to make a whole bunch of new products that are tailored specifically for you. So this thing about personalization, the digitization of thinking about your product that is totally personalized in a digital economy, the currency, right? The currency of a digital economy is personalization, right? It's relevance. The relevance is the currency of the digital economy. So this ability to think about your product in a personalized way, absolutely key. 3. 4, all about service. Again, in that connection of the digital and physical world, through using technology, through using your interfaces, that degree of service, making it seamless, easy to experience, absolutely key, right? 4. And 5, constantly innovating, right? Because, hey, you just thought you got mobile covered. Along comes something like Blipper or virtual augmented reality. How do you look at your website? In fact, my view is we're going to look at our websites and website design, even in 5 years from now, and think, wow, it looked like that old government paper. Literally, because they're all literally still forms that have gone online. They haven't yet become this interactive thing that interacts with your device and continues the interaction, because the technologies are not quite there yet. But they're getting there, and that's the exciting bit. And at Hepsiburada, we're really about key 3 things. Guess what our areas of focus are? Our strategy, as we said, is make your life easier. Anybody on our key areas of focus outside of the Hepsiburada guys? Customer, product, service, right? Facilitated. So those are 3, that's it. And we have a couple of things that enable all of that, and it's about, obviously, data and business process, people, and creating these platforms. We are a platform business, creating these platforms that make it simple, easy to scale and to interact, to help us grow. So that's what we're all about at Hepsi. Right? And within that, clearly, we're really, really, really excited about the business we are. We're already valued at significantly over $1 billion. We are going to be growing, we're doubling each year, and we expect to grow 10 times from where we are. Yeah? So we expect to grow 10 times. It's not often that you can be in a company, in a market, where you can be part of, each of you, be part of something that really grows, that really drives the boundaries. And we're doing everything from, and you're aware of some of the stuff, from how we look at connectivity to how we look at the application of artificial intelligence to some of our business problems, to this digitization of business process. So it's really an exciting time. It's a really exciting time in the economy. It's an exciting time in the country, I think. It's an exciting time for the companies, and it's an exciting time for us at Hepsi. I'm going to stop there. I'm going to stop being excited and take questions. Q&A? Any questions from any of you? Go ahead.
I was wondering about your international plans. Your projected 10 times growth is only for Turkey, or you plan to grow to the region? I'm sorry, my name is Berkan Beyli. Should I repeat the question?
Yeah.
I was wondering what your international plans are. I was wondering whether the 10 times growth plan is just for Turkey or for the region. Thank you.
So our belief is 10 times is just available here, But yes, we have regional ambitions. Being placed in where we are, and again, it's true of all businesses here, Turkey is a gateway to big parts of Africa and to parts of the Middle East and surrounding regions. So our ambitions are very much regional. We think some of that US pie is taken up already by the small company called Amazon. Well, we think, same with India, same with Asia, but we think there are other parts where there is still some opportunity to be different, and we think we know how to be different in how we execute. So our ambitions are regional. Other questions? Go ahead, please.
Bu arada Türkçe de sorabilirsiniz. Tercümanımız var. Sizin sorunuzu hemen anında translate edebileceğiz.
Is it open? Can you
Tamam.
hear
Yeah. Go.
Mittu, what's your main technologies that you're going to invest for these upcoming years to have the 10 times growth?
The main technologies.
The main technologies that you're going to invest.
Yeah. So we're going to have a whole range. Clearly, it's a platform. So everything, from, I'm not sure I'd call AI a technology, but it's going to be a big part of what we do. I'm not sure I'd call data a technology. These are all capabilities. We're less focused on the technology as opposed to the capabilities that we need to build. So this interfaces, the underlying data, are the digitization of our business process, the ability to actually scale for a business like ours that are scaling at phenomenal also this thing, pure engineering of the fabric of the, if you get excited about hardware, this is also, everything is being redefined. Right? I was just in Silicon Valley. Even hardware and kind of how you operate in OpenStack is redefining how the chip is going to be used. And it's even for stuff like you're doing. You've got to reinvent the hardware to process the stuff. Right? So we're going to be looking at everything, right from how we do data, how we mirror data, to how we look at the interface, to how we do interaction, to how we do personalization using AI. Search kind of works, right? But it's going to be and globally, this is going to be completely different in a couple of years because the application of what is now available. So literally, it's going down the stack, right, from the experience. Customer out, say, hey, how do you create that experience to know you, Rudy, as a person, to know your context? Say, hey, Rudy's not feeling so well today, so he probably doesn't want to be looking for food. When he's looking for something, send him to the pharmacy, right? So where do you want to start your journey? Because there's enough data around now, as long as it can be processed, to start to provide that kind of personalization and contextualization. So we're looking at literally everything as we go through our business and looking to reinvent that business. And we have, and again, I would say this to you, and I'd say this to myself, and would say this to my colleagues to remind me, we've got to constantly reinvent ourselves every year. So we're looking at literally everything. But again, we're not so focused on the technologies, we're focused on the enabling capabilities. And then we'll say, hey, what will get us there? So if it's, AI was looking at, obviously, Spark, we're looking at, massive parallel processing and things in terms of data. We will ingest it and then do something with it. Mobile, we're obviously building our own capabilities at the moment. I could go on, but yeah, it's literally, we're a big company, and we're a technology platform. It's everything. Thank you. Other questions? Very quiet. No? Oh yeah, go ahead. There's one there as well. Yeah.
So you want to grow 10 times, and you are planning to grow 10 times in the future. What about the margins? Are you planning to keep the same margin when growing this fast, or are you going to sacrifice some of it?
Good question. Very, very good question. This is so to grow 10 times is easy to say. We believe we are going to be, in fact, if having just come back from Silicon Valley, people are talking, have you guys know about Flipkart? You ever heard of Flipkart? Flipkart is this, yeah, some of you will know. Flipkart is this big startup in India that was, with amazing valuations. And Uber, obviously, you all know. We spent some time with some of the venture capitalists in Silicon Valley last week. And a lot of the conversation right now is very much about profitability, about good growth, not bad growth. And growth has been a focus, including in this market for some of the companies, and it's toxic, and it catches up with you. We believe we can grow healthily through this process. We are also very well funded, so we can invest in our businesses as well. But our space that we're in is a very capital intensive. We have a very large warehousing facility in terms of connecting the digital with the physical. So we're looking at last mile delivery, etc. We will continue to invest. We have good investment. We have cash in the bank, but we think that the growth will come in a healthy way. And we constantly discuss this as a management team. What is that right balance? But we're not going to be silly. Yeah? Great question. Go ahead. You had a question there, right? Somebody had a question. Oh, I thought you had a hand up. Okay. You have a question. Go ahead. Yeah, I win. Persistence pays off, right?
Ben Efe, Bursa'dan katılıyoruz biz. İngilizcem orta seviyede olduğu için direkt Türkçe sormayı tercih ettim.
Problem yok.
Benim merak ettiğim asıl soru şu. Genelde e-ticaret seminerlerinde bu noktalarda böyle ucundan çıtlatılıp geçiliyor ama bize şimdi bir büyük olarak firma açısından konuşuyorum. E-ticarette bize püf noktalarda neler verebilir? Tamam biliyoruz müşteri önemli, doğru ürün, zamanlama, kargo, aradaki erişebilirlik, kullanılabilirlik ve düzgün bir SEO üzerine kurulu bir web sitesi. Bunun dışında yani bizim ne yapmamız gerekiyor, ne yapabiliriz? Doğru ilerleme yol haritası nedir? Tecrübelerinizi bize nasıl aktarırsınız?
I love your question, by the way. having the right price at the right product with the right CEO. All simple, very clearly, very simple things to do.
I know so clearly.
So I would answer very simply. Getting all the things you talked about, getting the basics right is often actually the most difficult thing, because that combination is actually very important to pay attention to. But I'll come back to what I started with, which is the customer. Truly thinking about the customer, outside in, and truly simplifying.
New customer or
It doesn't matter.
my website.
Sorry, say that again?
Our my website.
You need to think about a customer, because this customer, not just on your website, on your mobile device, doesn't matter, right? It could be a customer. All of us are potential customers of everything out there in terms of what we could consume. So you've got to think about how do you get, some of my colleagues, they don't use some of the technology yet. So I like it, because I'm saying, hey, how do I make this person, make it so simple for this person to use my interface, to where it makes, think about customer, think about convenience, ease, and I think in this market, trust is a core key thing. That ability to say, hey, I get what I bought. I know when I give you my cash, it's safe. And this is where I think the market still has some evolution to develop this trust as well. So building trust is terribly important, especially for the new companies as we go. But it's not a simple question you ask, but I think the key thing I would say is come back to really think about that customer, think about that experience.
Okay, so much.
Yeah? And most importantly, think about the problem you're trying to solve for that customer.
So it is kind of a global world, but I mean,
Kind of.
but we still feel that its localization is quite important. So you arrived to Turkey recently, let's say. So what is the most weird, surprising thing for you after you came to Turkey and experienced here in means of technology and the e-commerce world?
Weird. You make me think now. What is the most weird thing? I would say it's not weird. It's just there's.
Surprising.
Yeah,
thing.
no, I was surprised. To be honest, I'm quite surprised at with all the stuff that I talked to you about in terms of the economy and where things are. I am surprised at there's quite a gap in talent, I think, in the market. There's also not an excitement. So when I talk to some potential candidates who are, let's say, in a bank or in telco, you talk to them, and then after you talk to them, they get excited. But I think this is something I think I'm very, very keen to say to all of you is that as Turks, we had an amazing opportunity, and I'm surprised that all of us here are not as excited about this opportunity. I'm surprised that all of us, especially when I talk to a lot of the talent out there, are saying, hey, look, we need to leave this country. I understand there may be some reasons that may be politically motivated, but let's say, hey, you don't get, timing is important, right, as well. And the time to me is now here, in terms of all these things. So what I'm most surprised about is the lack of excitement in many of the people I meet, one. And two is the lack of understanding of what truly digital is. And that, by the way, is not just a Turkish phenomenon, but I would expect that people will be more excited, especially the younger generation, and be a lot more digital than I expect. So that has been slightly surprising. I've gone to some of the universities, and I've been surprised by the lack in some instances of that. So it's not weird, but it's slightly surprising.
My name is Inan. I'm a marketing executive at Timur, and I'm also a PhD student in Paris Business School. And I'm studying on omnichannel retailing.
Omnichannel retailing.
Omnichannel retailing.
Cool.
Yeah. What do you think about omnichannel in Turkey? Omnichannel retailing in Turkey. So could you please give me information over it? So what do you think?
Huge opportunity.
Really?
Absolutely, huge opportunity. Huge opportunity, right? Because
For your company also, or?
generally a huge opportunity, obviously for our company, for some of our colleagues in this room. There's huge opportunity overall in the market. And the average retailer, the average merchant, hasn't quite understood what it takes to be truly digital. So a huge opportunity to enable that. Huge opportunity, I think, for a lot of retailers don't quite understand. It's easy to say, hey, think about the customer, think about the physical and digital and all of that. But actually doing it, you've really got to put yourself, you've got to be in that mindset. And being in that mindset, again, it's easy to understand the theory of it, but in the practice, you'll find people revert back to what they know as opposed to what they don't know. And I think that's all here, both to be experienced, but I also think that fundamentally here in Turkey we have an opportunity to leapfrog. To almost, if you're good enough about learning what has happened in the other markets, we can do 2.0 as opposed to 1.0 of digital commerce, and that's the option in omnichannel in particular. Yeah. I'll come to you next.
Son soruyu alıyoruz. Vaktimizi tükettik.
Okay, so we'll come to you next then.
Hi, my name is Cesar. As you said, you're an intensive company, and you try to get people back from Silicon Valley to Turkey. I was curious about human capital. What are your vision of your human capital? Did you get them back from Silicon
Well,
Valley?
I mean, let's be clear. We went there to get some of that talent back, but we are more focused on the talent that's here. let's be clear, right? So we're very, very keen to. Well, I mean, first of all, right? Let's start with the best school in digital commerce, right? This is actually in a business like ours, because you can never learn what we do. There aren't the programs yet to teach you about digital commerce in terms of all of it. To your question, how do we bring it all together? I can learn about computer science. I can learn about EE. I can learn about robotics. I can learn about AI. I can learn about, hey, how do I want to synthesize big data, right? I can learn how to write better queries. But how do you bring it in practical execution will only be learned in businesses like ours. Right? So our ability to attract the raw brain power. We don't need retailers coming to our business. We need the best talent. And we can train you. We can work with you. We can build you out. That's why you have people like me, right? To come in and say, hey, okay, how do we put it all together? But so we're really out there saying, hey, look, how do we bring the best talent? And if you see my slides, which I didn't put up, the base is all about people. But without the best people, like the Americans say, ain't nothing going to happen, right? Nothing's going to happen. So the best people is no compromise, right? It will take time until we find the best people to build out that platform, build out the capability. And we're going to be investing quite a lot in those people, and and hopefully also into the fabric of what we are here, and working with the universities, etc., to do exactly that. But yeah, the best people, period. You had a question. Eventually, yes.
Hi, it's Jen from Timor as well, like, my question is, we all experience see that not all, but some of the e-commerce giants opens physical stores, not only in Turkey, but around the globe. Does Hepsiburada have such plan like this? Do you find it, like Amazon, like Marketplace, do you find it essential, and why?
I think right now we're saying, hey, look, there's a lot of opportunities just to do pure play online. So that's where we're focused. If you look at it from a customer's view, and we get to a place, we're here to work with our merchants, our retailers, and they have, so we're here to partner with the fabric of the economy. So we don't feel the need to open a store because we're saying, hey, our partners on our platform already have stores. Right? And that's the difference between who we are. So we're going to work with the economy, we're going with the fabric of society that we have. We're not out there to beat that small merchant, we're out there to work with that small merchant. But if you go to another geography where it is necessary for a store, we certainly think in terms of getting convenience, delivery to you, we've got to figure out how to work with a Baikal, or we've got to say how to put lockers next to you to make it easy for you. So in that connection of the physical and digital, we never say no, but our ambition is not to go kill the retailer. We're there to work with them. Yeah?
Çok teşekkür ediyoruz. Şimdi
All right.
thank you so much
Alright,
for this
thank you.
inspiring speech, Mittu.
All right.
Thank you.
Huh?
Çok güzel bir konuşma dinledik aslında. Ben de çok şey öğrendim. Çünkü hem global bakış açısıyla hakikaten iyi yerlere dokundu. Hem Türkiye'yi umutlandırdı. Türkiye'deki aslında bu growth dediği şey, büyüme dediği şeyde Türkiye'nin de çok ciddi payı olacak. O anlamda açıkçası sektör insanı olarak çok da heyecanlandım.